Their performers continued to perform while the others were out. The line got healthy. They brought back the injured Cup and the injured Puka Nacua. It changed their season. And now, like you said, they're 8-2 since.
Well, and they didn't want to hear about the fact that they're traveling cross-country, playing what were for them is a 10 a.m. game, and the fact that it was going to be below 20 degrees wind chill during this game. They said, we're going out there to take business, and
it paid off. Rams win it by 10. So for Trent Green, Melanie Collins, and Gene Steratore, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Matthew Stafford today, 14-19 for 110. Rodgers, 256 through the air, a touchdown, no picks. The Rams win it 19-9. Now, let's go to James Brown in our CBS studios for the NFL Today update delivered by Little Caesars.
Kevin, thank you so very much. So the Rams come up with the victory, their fourth straight win. Nate Burleson's ex-teammate, Matthew Stafford, 13-1 in December with the Rams. Nate's always talked about him, but he got it done again today. We are going to be taking those of you who are tuning in to that Tennessee, make that Colts on top of Tennessee, 38-30 with 2 minutes remaining in regulation there. We're going to talk about that. Bill, Sean McVay just keeps getting it done.
Yeah, talking about the L.A. Rams team that came over here from L.A. to some cold weather. Relied on Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams was the kind of the key to this game today. They were able to adapt and adjust their game. Matthew Stafford, nothing that big, but didn't make any big errors. And I think that's the biggest thing I'll say about this team. Defense was very solid the second half of this football game. And it was a good Rams win. Now they go back home next 2 weeks and 2 home games with a chance to take control of the division.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, 13-1 with the Rams in December. Unbelievable stats. He's at his best when it's the most important, impressive to watch today.
Just like the NCAA tournament, survive in advance.
Right.
And we'd like to welcome in those of you who are watching that Cleveland at Cincinnati game. The Bengals get it done 24-6 over Cleveland. An impressive win there. Boy, they're just getting it done down the stretch, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at what this team has been able to do, it's just lock in at the right time of the season. We talked about the month of December. You are becoming who you will be in the postseason.
And, fellas, there is a game going on in Indianapolis. 8-point lead by Indy with 2 minutes left in regulation. Let's join the announcers at that one. Tom McCarthy, Jay Feely, Ross Tucker, and Amanda Billy Balionis.
the game, Mason Rudolph is hoping to get the football back. It's 38-30, 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter.
You got bunch formation down here at the bottom, 3 receivers.
And hello again, everyone, and welcome to the NFL Today update delivered by Little Caesars. As a reminder, before the next game begins, you can get game day delivered from Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Game 2 of our doubleheader is coming up next. Most will see the Bills looking to keep it rolling against the Patriots. Some will see the Niners and Dolphins in Miami, while others will get the Jags and the Raiders. Back here in the Sean McManus Studio 43, JB along with Coach Nate and Matt and folks. Bill, taking a look at the action and how tight it is and competitive.
Yeah, I think it's been that way a lot in this 1 o'clock window. Again, when you look at some of these games, and 3 games left to go. You sit there and look at an LA Ram team that came across the country and had to win a game to keep alive, and now they go back home with 2 home games. That was a big win in my mind for that. And the Cincinnati Bengals still staying alive with a big win today as well.
And speaking of a big win, Nate, Detroit 7-0 now on the road.
That's right. Let's get to the highlights, JB. Lions, Bears, big NFC North matchup, and a quick screen to Amon-Ra St. Brown. There was a lot of traffic, and he skates on through. And then in the third quarter, check out this play, little fumble, Ruski. They actually yelled fumble. And then Sam Laporta sneaks out the back door, 21-yard touchdown. Jameson Williams also added in 5 receptions for 143. Lions win and win big.
Eagles go down to Washington, and Jalen Hurts goes into concussion protocol with this hit. Kenny Pickett is in. That doesn't make any difference right there as you sit there and watch Saquon Barkley. What a great runner. Takes his block, very patient, in, out. does the rest with his speed to finish off the run. He goes 64 yards. But then you're going to see Jaden Daniels, when they were down, he's going to find again Olamide Zaccheaus right here on this 49-yard touchdown right here. They take a lead, but then the Philadelphia Eagles respond with Kenny Pickett at the helm. Jake Elliott, 50-yard field goal. Now with 3.5 minutes to go, it is still Philadelphia up right there. It is right here. Jake Elliott's going to kick this field goal, and they leave 30-28. 3 minutes to go in the game. Washington is driving.
Wow. All right, Coach, you talked about the Rams win. Let's take a little bit of a look at the action. Early on, it was Aaron Rodgers extending the play off the play action, rolling to his right, and he was going to find Devontae Adams in the back of the end zone. Beautiful throw and catch. Later on, though, it was Matthew Stafford. And let's go listen to Sean McVay after the game. He's talking to his team. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Higbee, beautiful touchdown right there. But let's see what Sean McVay has to say after that win right there.
Pretty good coach.
Is that a pick for you?
There was a lot of examples. The way that game played out, you guys just stayed together. You stayed connected. I thought that was an unbelievable job by the defense in the second half.
All right, we have the Cardinals and the Panthers. Fourth quarter now. We're going to see Bryce Young. He is going to step up in the pocket and say, you know what? I'm just going to take it myself. That was earlier in the game, and then watch this throw right here. A lofty pass to David Moore. What a TD. This game was back and forth. After the Panthers taking an early lead in this one, it is going into overtime, 30-30.
All right, Giants taking on the Falcons, and there's Michael Penix in his first start as an Atlanta Falcon quarterback. He's going to hand off to Bijan Robinson. Not a bad guy to hand it to. Beautiful touchdown run right there off the left-hand side. Later on, it was going to be Matthew Judon who was going to pick off a tip pass right here from Drew Lock. It goes up in the air. Matthew Judon takes it back to the house. It was all Atlanta, all Falcons today. They win 34-7, keep their playoff hopes alive.
Titans, Colts, third quarter now. Watch this by Jonathan Taylor. He is going to hit the sideline, and he is gone. Just seems like he has been getting fresher and fresher. The game plan for the Colts, give it to their star running back. And they do that once again. Even by the goal line, he shows his toughness and bows to the crowd. Colts, they win this one 38-30.
Cincinnati Bengals playing home against the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be Joe Burrow. Watch this throw right here. He's on the ground, still sees T. Higgins. He completes it from 2 yards out. And he's going to find Andre Yosevich right here. And this again, down the red zone. Joe Burrow today had 3 touchdown passes. The third one to Jamar Chase. You can see right here, 7 straight games for 3 touchdowns or more. And afterwards, Zach Taylor talked to the team in the locker room.
Hey, the first thing I'll say, I'm proud of your focus all week. I'm proud of your focus throughout the game. I don't care what anybody's record is. When you play a divisional game in December, it's a good football team, and you got to earn everything you get. And today, you guys earned everything you got. It was great in 3 phases. All 3 phases came together at the right moments to get this thing done. I'm proud of you, okay? Now we get a chance to turn the page. Now we get a chance to talk about Denver.
What a win.
I mean, I think, again, you talk about a team you don't think you want to play. They played very well in defense today. Again, Joe Burrow, 7 straight games with 3 touchdowns or more, a complete record, 39 touchdowns on the season, leads the National Football League. Statistically, they can say they're still in it right there. You can see it. Needs some help along the way. But again, a team that you don't want to play, and they actually go play the Denver Broncos next week, and they finish up against Pittsburgh. So, again, they have a lot to do with the outcome of the playoff, at least where these teams are positioned.
Yeah, both the teams that were playing in the 1 o'clock window that had to win to keep their wild card chances alive came out and performed really well. Indianapolis did the same thing. They went to their bread and butter. Nate, you had the highlight right there. Feed Jonathan Taylor. He went off today. Anthony Richardson, very good running the football on the ground. Defense played well. Both teams that needed it came out and performed, I thought, very strongly.
Yeah, over 300 yards rushing for the Colts. They understand that Anthony Richardson is still going to need some more development as he tries to find some more consistency offensively with throwing the ball. But even within the playoff run being somewhat out of reach for some of these teams, and I know the Cincinnati Bengals are mathematically still in it, there is silver lining, though. Joe Burrow playing at an MVP level. It's just a shame that Josh Allen is playing at another level than all of them. But, yeah, you look at these numbers. He's impressive, and so is Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You can hang your hat on some superstars on that offense.
Burrow playing like the superstar he is. And after the game, it was our Aditi Kinkhabwala catching up with Joe Burrow.
Joe, you told us this week that you're getting better at enjoying the little victories. What do you enjoy the most about this one?
This is a big win for us. That's a team that has had our number, and we came out and played well, really well in the first half. They got after us a little bit in the third quarter. Then we had some good drives in the fourth. Now we put ourselves in a good position for next week.
I know it's about the team, but 7 straight games with 3 touchdowns. How good are you really feeling right now?
I feel great. Things are slow for me right now. I'm making plays with my legs. Had a fumble at the 1-yard line. I got to clean that up. I've had too many turnovers the last couple weeks, but feeling good.
Okay, next week, you said a big one. The Denver Broncos. What's the most important thing this week as you prepare for that?
I'm going to enjoy this one first, and then spend some time with the family tonight. Christmas this week. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's a big week for us, so we'll get back to work, but we'll enjoy it tonight.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
And Matt Ryan has talked about that NFC side of the house being as tight as it is. But, Bill, the Rams staying ahead of the rest of the NFC West right now. Take a look at this picture here.
Yeah, and remember, they do play the Seattle Seahawks in Week 18, which could have a lot to do with the outcome. I want to just talk about Detroit Lions. They go to 13 wins. And I said this before, there's only, been 3 coaches in the NFL history that lost at least 13 games in their first year.
Who are those coaches?
Those are, and then also won 13 games within the next 3 years.
Okay.
Chuck Noll.
All right.
Hall of Fame, multiple Super Bowls. Bill Walsh. Hall of Fame, multiple Super Bowls. Jimmy Johnson. Hall of Fame, multiple Super Bowls. So there's only 3 guys that can turn around a franchise in that period of time. I'm not saying this to anybody with Dan Campbell and how he may win a Super Bowl and maybe he won't. This speaks volumes of what he's done with that franchise.
No question.
But his face has been put on that. With people in Detroit, we were there last week. I mean, there's a sense of pride. There's another sense of level of expectation that goes with that, and he will embrace it all.
Well, listen, Dan Campbell has put in the work. Former player, he's bounced around as assistant coach, had some stints as an interim and then a head coach. But he might not be cementing his legacy, but he's pouring the concrete right now, and we have to respect what they've been doing. And let's talk about where they are in regards to the outcome of last week. They took a hard loss at home, lost a few more players. They've already been depleted with the guys that have been banked up and bounced back against the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams played well today. And we always say division rivalries, we throw the record out of the business. So I don't care if the Bears are 4-11. It was a tough game to win for the Detroit Lions.
If I could just speak before Matt on leadership of those organizations that Bill Cowher just mentioned, they stood pat with those coaches because they knew what to do. But I can certainly vouch for what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. Leadership said when Chuck Noll was 13 that year or whatever, they asked, were they going to fire him?
What did he say?
He looked them dead in the eye and said, we have exactly who we know we want it, and he's going to get it done. The rest is history. So they got it done. Matt?
Yeah, I think the Ford family has exactly who they know is the person to lead their franchise moving forward. And I always look at good football teams respond after losses.
Yeah.
Right? And that was a tough, heartbreaking loss that they had against Buffalo last week. Emotional. And they come back and respond in a division game, like we all said. On the road, trap game, all that kind of stuff with the teams that is out of the playoff picture, and they come out and they dominate from the start. Offensively, very, very good on the ground. Ben Johnson, we talk about it every week. The creativity, the creativity play that he has.
Is this the most creative, fun offense to watch, Matt?
Yes.
It has to be.
I mean, from trick plays to gadgets to whatever, they've got them all. And it seems like they keep rolling them out week in, week out. And
Penny Sewell, 6'5", 330, best offensive lineman in football, had a run-pass option. The ball with his hand about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So, is that fun football for you guys?
When it works.
When it works, JB.
It's fun for Dan Campbell. It's fun when you walk in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And you get the game plan, and you're in December. Something different. Something a little against the norm.
Yeah.
Something that kind of excites you.
Yeah.
That's what makes football fun.
Yeah.
It's been a grind. It's been a grind. Make it fun, man.
Right. You're right.
And you know what makes it fun here? An instant update.
That's right. And speaking of the NFC North, we have the Vikings, a team that we don't talk about enough. And we have Sam Darnold to Jordan Addison right over the middle, a little spot route. It could have been a drive. He sits down right in the zone and does his little dance. And the Vikings, they get going early over the Seahawks on the road, 7-0. And how about these Vikings? I mean, we've talked about the NFC North a lot. You know, Caleb Williams in his rookie campaign, how is he bouncing back from everything that he's dealing with? Talk about the Green Bay Packers a ton. Jordan Love. I mean, this is a really good team to watch out for. The Lions have been dominant all season. It just seems like for where the Vikings are, they have been on the back burner.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the national conversation across all networks, and we have fell victim to it too.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we were just talking about Ben Johnson as the most creative play caller. Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay are probably the two best play callers right now in the NFL when it comes to marrying up the run game with the pass, with the play action pass. I look at the Vikings as one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and they've got two wide receivers that can take the top off the defense. I think it's going to be critical for them to keep winning. I really think, we talked about it in the pregame, home field advantage. I think it's critical for the Vikings to stay in that race, because if they get some games at home, given what they can do offensively, given the scheme that they have defensively, that would be a really difficult place to go in and win in the NFC playoff picture.
Yeah. Late games coming up in our late window. There's some names and faces that aren't on the back burner. That would be Josh Allen.
You know
and
him.
the Bills. Go ahead.
There he is right there. That's a man who's probably going to win the MVP of the league this year. I like those red uniforms they have on this week. New.
Yeah, Josh Allen is the head chef. This is their sous chef, James Cook, and he's been cooking this season. Check this out. 13 rush TDs this year. But when they run the offense through him, that pass game really opens up.
Speaking of the pass game, here's your number one receiver. That's Khalil Shakir. 71 receptions, 4 touchdowns. He's kind of being the go-to guy for them in the slot.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the ball, Greg Rousseau, I mean, he's been getting after it. 7.5 sacks, 16 TFLs on the season. He's going to make it a long day, or at least he's going to try to, for Drake May.
All right, y'all, check out the big fella. It is cold out there. This is Jordan Phillips, who's wearing the jacket with the fur. He looked like me in the pregame show. But listen, his previous teams were in Miami and Arizona. I'm sorry, Jordan, you're not in Kansas anymore.
Why put the jersey on over the
you gotta stay warm, JB.
Unbelievable.
And listen, Drake May, speaking of staying warm, he's been heating up. Josh Allen said this week that he really likes what the young QB is doing. He thinks he's going to be a good QB for a long time and has a lot of respect for him.
Speaking of Miami, San Francisco is going down to Miami. Brock Purdy says, man, this is a lot better than last week at rain in San Francisco. They only had 2 field goals. He's got 15 touchdowns on a day. Look at stay in the hunt.
Tua's been hot the last month and a half of the season, and they've been very good when they're playing against teams under 500. Lucky for them, San Francisco sitting at 6-7.
And there's George Kittle. You know, we love him because of what he does in the passing game, but the most impressive thing about him is he is an extension of the offensive line. He is one of the best blocking tight ends, not just this year, but I believe in NFL history.
Cheetah, that's what they call him. He's the fastest guy to be on the field today. No Jalen Waddle right now for Tua. So you know what? A lot of Tyreek Hill.
Ooh. And that's Fred Warner. That's not who Tyreek's going to want to see going over the middle on some of those crossing routes. He's a physical player, 100-plus tackles in all 7 career seasons. Unreal player. It's going to be fun to watch this one this afternoon.
Hey, and can I just say this? It's not an instant update, but Klaus just pointed to the screen over there. Washington has gone up on top of Philly, 34-33.
JB, give us.
Go ahead.
No, give us.
Hey, look at Jaden Daniels has been the one that's been doing it all season. Go ahead, Matt.
And then he's going to find Jamison Crowder over there. How about that? In the clutch, end of game, going down the field. They're going for 2 as we speak. But the calm, collected, poised nature of Jaden Daniels shows up seemingly every week in end of game situation.
4 TDs in this one for Jaden Daniels.
Big question right here. What's the extent of Jalen Hurts? Because he's been the one part of that offense, and he did not finish this game. So big comeback for Jaden Hurts.
And confidence booster for the Commanders.
Oh, no question about it.
Hey, all 3 of you played basketball. If somebody gives you an assist like that, Washington got the 2-point conversion is good. Do you give the guy who gave the assist a big hand as well?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Klaus Stuhl Weissenberg, thank you very much. We're up here talking. Klaus is like, well, you look at the screen over there. There's a score. Well, we've got action coming up on the screen for you guys now. The second half of our doubleheader.
Not to be confused with Santa Claus. Different guy.